So for lesson 5, we're going to compare numbers based on meanings of the digits using greater than, less than, or equal to record the comparison. So starting with number 1, we're going to label the units in the place value chart. And you can see I've done that already. You're going to draw place value discs to represent each number in the place value chart. Then using less than, greater than, or equal to compare the two numbers, write the correct symbol in the circle. Okay, so now notice how I've drawn a dotted line here to separate our place value chart into two columns. Okay, so looking at our numbers here, we're going to start off with our ones place, and we're going to draw 5 ones. We have 1 10, 0 hundreds, 0 thousands, 0 ten thousands, and then 6 hundred thousands. Now our second number, we're going to do the same thing. Start off with our ones place, and then the tens, 0 hundreds, 0 thousands, and then 6 ten thousands. Now, to compare our numbers, we can see that our first number here is greater than our second number, because our first number has number discs in the hundred thousands place, whereas the other number does not. So 600,015 is greater than 60,015. Okay. Now, next number, same thing. Start off with our 4 ones, 0 tens, 0 hundreds, then we have 9 thousands, 0 ten thousands, and then 400 thousands. Okay. Then we do our next number, 2 ones, 0 tens, 0 hundreds, 0 thousands, 4 ten thousands, and then 400 thousands. Now we always start off with our largest place. Okay, but we notice that they both have 400 thousands. So we go to our second place here in the 10 thousands place, and we see now we have a difference. Our first number has 0 ten thousands, but our second number has 4. So that means the first number is less than our second number. So 409,004 is less than 440,002. Okay. Next, we're going to compare the two numbers by using the symbols less than, greater than, or equal to, and write the correct symbol in the circle. Okay, now our first one we can see here, 342,001, and this number is 94,981. Now, one thing we should notice right away is that they have a different number of digits. This first number has 300 thousands, whereas our second number here has 0. So 342,001 is greater than 94,981, all because of what's in the hundred thousands place. Okay, now next we have some numbers in some different forms. So what we're going to do is we're going to convert them into number form so we can compare easier. So here we have 589,100. Here we have 508,000. You have to read very carefully. 508,901. Now to compare these, we see that we have 8 ten thousands and we have 0 ten thousands. So 8 ten thousands is greater than 0 ten thousands. Now number 6, we have 900 thousands, 0 ten thousands, 8 thousands, 9 hundreds, and then 3 tens. Comparing that to our second number, we see that they're the same. So they're equal. Now letter D, we have to be a little bit tricky here, because notice how the numbers have been put out of order. So we actually have 5 ten thousands, 0 thousands, we have 9 hundreds, 0 tens, 9 ones. This one you have to look really carefully. Here we have 6 ten thousands, 0 thousands, 5 hundreds, and 9 ones. Okay, so we can see here our 6 ten thousands is larger than our 5 ten thousands. So in this case, we're going to be writing less than. 5 ten thousands is less than 6 ten thousands. Okay, moving on here to number 3. We're going to use the information in the chart below to list the height and feet of each mountain from least to greatest. You always want to be careful of which direction you're going. In this case, we're going from least to greatest. Then we're going to name the mountain that has the lowest elevation in feet. Okay, so looking at our numbers here, we want the lowest one. Well, right away we can get rid of this 5,000 one. We can ignore it for a minute. Okay, our other three have 4,000s. So we can look at the hundreds place. So now we have 300s, 900s, 200s. Okay, so then that means 4,240 comes first. And then 3 is less than 9, so 4,340 comes next. Then our 4,960. And then now we can fill in that 5,344. So we're going from least to greatest. So the second part of this question wants the mountain that has the lowest elevation. So we're going to write slide mountain has the lowest elevation. Okay, moving on to number 4 here, we're going to stay in that same direction, still going least to greatest, okay, to arrange these numbers. Now, right away, this middle number should stand out because it has fewer digits, because it has 0,000. So we're going to write 820 first. Okay, next we see that we have these two numbers here with 2,000s, okay, where they both have 0 hundreds, but this one has 0 tens. And this has 8 tens. So 2008 would be our next lowest. Then our 2080. Okay, because 0 tens, less than 8 tens. Okay, now we look at our 8,000s. Well, this one has 0 hundreds, whereas this one has 2 hundreds. So we have our next number. So our answer would then look like that. Now we're going to switch directions now and go from greatest to least. Okay, so looking at all of our numbers, okay, we could ignore this last one for a second because it doesn't have enough digits. It doesn't have anything in the 100,000s. So we look at our first 3 here. They all have 700,000s. So let's look at the 10,000s. Okay, well, we have 2 numbers here with 2 10,000s. All right, so let's look now at the thousands place. This has 728,000. This only has 720,000. Okay, so we have our first 2 numbers here, 728,000 and then 720,800. Okay, then we can do our 708,200 and then finally our 87,300. Okay. Moving on to number 6 here. 1 astronomical unit, or 1 AU, is the approximate distance from Earth to the Sun. The following are the approximate distances from Earth to nearby stars given in AUs. So what we need to do is list the names of the stars and their distances in AUs from closest to farthest from Earth. Now that's just a slightly different way of saying least to greatest. Okay. So looking at our numbers here, okay, we see that they all have 6 digits, so we're all going into the 100,000s place. But our first 2 here only have 200,000, so we're going to start off with these 2 numbers here. Now, our first number here has 7 10,000s, whereas our second number here has 6 10,000s. So this is the number that we're going to actually write first. Okay, because that's the smallest. Then our 275,725. Okay, and we're going to label them. Okay, so these 2 are done. Okay, then we look at our next number. Well, our next number then would be our 300,000s. Okay, so that one's done. So now we're left with 2, 500,000s and 600,000s. Okay, as you can see, our last 3 were pretty easy because we just had to look at our 100,000s place. But our first 2 both had 200,000s. So we needed to work on over to our 10,000s place to put them in order.